Hello, my fellow readers. Today I'm back with another manga review, and this is another newer series for me that I picked up, and it is Mint Chocolate. Mint Chocolate is by Mami Orikasa, and it tells the story of Nanami, who her mother announces that she's remarrying, and they're going to be, joining houses. And Nanami now has a new brother, Kyohei. And Kyohei is actually a classmate to Nanami, and Kyohei is also Nanami's crush. And instead of saying anything about this to the parents, it's just like, yeah, sure, this is fine. But of course, hijinks ensue once they have to live together. So this is not a new groundbreaking series at all. It's a pretty, I think, fairly common trope in a lot of manga to have like suddenly siblings, but they're attracted to each other. It's been going on for a long time, and part of why I wanted to pick up Mint Chocolate was to see how it's dealt with in this series, because I do like seeing the differences and the variations. For example, you have the great Love Me, Love Me Not, where that did happen, but that was an unrequited love that had to be kind of overcome, or that was the decision that those characters made. But then you have series like We Must Never Fall in Love, which is a semi-newer series that's not that old, where they decided to pursue a romantic relationship. And then, of course, you have one of the granddaddies in the shoujo circuit that I think everybody thinks about, which is Marmalade Boy. But boy, that one was much more twisted and complicated than I think a lot of the other ones are. Marmalade Boy really was a parent swap. When I think back to that series, I still like that series because it had great characters. But the whole fact that the parents... Because the two sets of parents, like, they dated the other set when they were younger, and then switched, and then married, and had kids, and then one day decided, oh yeah, I still love that one, and I still love that one, and so they switched. Meanwhile, their poor kids are stuck in the middle. And there was the whole question in Marmalade Boy, which I'm not going to give any spoilers, about whether or not they could potentially be actual siblings. Or half-siblings. That series was crazy. And if you haven't read that, and you can find it, you should read Marmalade Boy. I wish that would be reprinted. I don't think it has been. I don't think it's been announced either, but... if you can find it, read Marmalade Boy if you love shoujo and you love, like, high drama. It had great characters. And I don't know what else to say about that, but that one was... I mean, that's the one I think that most people would compare And to be fair, also, there was not the immediate attraction in Marmalade Boy. I think a lot of times now it's where the kids, one of them already had a crush on the other person, and then suddenly they have to live together. But in Marmalade Boy, if I remember correctly, like, there wasn't that immediate attraction. And that's, like, I mean, there wasn't the pre-existing crush. Feelings developed after. And that is something to always consider, though, when you're... Anyway, I'm not going to get into a thing, but... Marmalade Boy is really like what I think most people think about when they think about like a classic story that dealt with that. Not that others didn't exist or what have you, but that one was like the cream of the crop, and it had such high drama in it about the whole thing. But I loved the characters. They were both great. I loved that series. So if you want to try that one, and then if you want a newer one that's similar to Mint Chocolate, I think that was that would be We Must Never Fall in Love. I think that's the name of it. So going back to Mint Chocolate, so we have the girl that was crushing on the guy, moves in. The guy is kind of one of those people that acts harshly, but then does something really nice. Not not totally tsundere, but kind of like that. And so there are times where she feels like, I don't need to have a crush on this guy. But then most of the time he does something that makes her heart beat fast. So it's one of those stories. But it's also kind of nice observing him as a character. I think he's a little bit interesting. And if I keep up with this series, I think it'll be to see his character development. Because he has kind of an interest in Nanami, but his understanding and his emotional development is a bit lower, if that makes sense. Like, I think that he has feelings that he doesn't understand. So it'll be interesting to see that development and that understanding of what he's feeling, and that, you know, maybe he really is attracted to this girl, and maybe he has been for a while. Yeah, because that's the whole thing. It's like, I think he also kind of was attracted to her, but not in a way that he understood could potentially be a romantic attraction. He was just drawn to her. And so I think, like, his dad, when he announced that they would get married, he was like, or wanted to move her in or whatever, was kind of drawn to saying yes, simply because he wanted more experience around her, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, that added a whole other level to the story that I'm kind of interested in pursuing. Beyond that, there is like that kind of jealousy trope that occurs. So, Nanami is still trying to figure out Kyohei and his possible or potential feelings, but she hears a conversation. I don't remember what gets said, but that he's gonna like meet up with somebody that he used to know in elementary school or whatever, and the name was Mizuki, and so he thinks Mizuki is a girl and was potentially his first love or first girlfriend. So she's all anxious about it. I think she follows him to the meeting. I can't remember. And discovers it's a guy. It's not a girl. It was his childhood friend, like best friend. And it's a guy. And so Mizuki actually becomes like this trickster character. Like he intentionally causes trouble just to get a reaction from the two. So he'll do things to make Kyohei jealous, I think trying to help Kyohei's emotional development and help him to understand that maybe he's having these thoughts about his new sister. That sounded wrong, but that's how it is. And I think that's kind of fun. Now, whether or not Mizuki's actually going to develop feelings, like actual feelings for Nanami, I don't know. But at this point, it's more like, oh, look at this, Kyohei. Doesn't this make you jealous? So it's all more like play and good fun. I would say that the way I feel about it at this point, and my judgment of it, is that it's really a mutual feelings story. And so I don't know where the story is going to go from here. Because, yes, you got him, you got her. They're both drawn to each other. Most likely things are going to develop. So it's more like, how are they going to deal with their parents and the fact that they're siblings right now? Maybe even potentially their classmates. I don't know if their classmates know about them being related. I mean, married and in the same family, their marriage. Whatever. I don't remember if they know, but you do have like that whole question of, okay, if they decide to pursue this romantic relationship, what are they going to tell their parents, and what is that impact? And I don't know, but it's so weird because technically they're not doing anything wrong by falling in love with one another. They're not biologically related. It just so happens that their parents ended up getting married. That's not their fault. You know? So I don't know. If I follow this journey, it will be to see how that gets played out. over the course of the series? And will there be more that happens with like Mizuki? Will there be other people? I will say I hope it wouldn't drag on too long. So currently there's the 2 volumes. I don't remember if volume 3 is out or if it's delayed. There's a bunch of manga that had expected publication times that are being delayed. So I'd have to look into that. And it really stinks. It seems like every day I'm getting like a notification about a publication being pushed back. And I'm like, oh, I was hoping for that one. But yeah, so for now there's only the 2 volumes. I hope it doesn't go for that long, especially if it is just going to be they're already together and it's just like hijinks about them trying to hide the relationship. Because I find that exhausting and overplayed. It's probably where it's going to go. But if it does, I don't know, I might give up on it. Again, so far, this is a series that I would donate over keep because it's not hitting the points that would make me want to keep it. I am intrigued by the characters, but I'm not like fully connected to the characters. I've got Marmalade Boy for that kind of story. Or if I want where they're just like move beyond that and actually become siblings or more sibling-like figures, I would stick with Love Me, Love Me Not, which I think is actually about ready to throw a curveball at us. So if you haven't been reading Love Me, Love Me Not, read that. Because that last volume, I think it was volume 8, I was sensing some drama that's going to occur soon. And I can't wait to see if I'm right or not, but I was sensing it. So you could go with like a story like that or the classic Marmalade Boy. And those I would much rather hang on to. Like I was immediately drawn to those characters. I love their story and their development. These ones I'm like, yeah, I've seen it before. I'm willing to continue the ride for now, but I don't know that it's anything I'd be like recommending to everybody and whatnot. It's just, it's okay. The art is nice enough. I actually like, this is gonna sound weird. I actually like the inside art, the regular art of it better than the cover for some reason. This drawing in particular isn't like the best one for Kyohei. I don't know. So again, it's cute. It's shoujo. It's not anything new. It's okay if you're looking for just something to read. And maybe you like that kind of trope about crushes that become siblings and how do they deal with it. If you do, give it a read. Maybe you'd really, really like it. I will continue to see where it goes, but looking kind of like a nice donation. That is it for this video. Until next time.